Hello. So I thought I would show you a little bit of a trick on how I do when I dual boot Windows and Linux. And I would never ever use the same drive and install Windows and Linux on that single drive, because that will mess up the Windows bootloader, especially when you remove Linux, and because it will actually mess with the bootloader for Windows. So I actually use multiple drives for this. As you can see here in the SATA information, right now there's 2 drives. There are actually a third one, but I disabled that port at the moment. And I also have an NVMe drive. You can see it's over there. Windows installed on it. So what you do here is that right now I am in easy mode in UEFI, and down here you see you need to press F7 to get to advanced mode. And this trick only works if you have UEFI. Let's see where you did that. Yeah, this CSM, yeah, over here. So if you go to the boot tab here and then to CSM, compatibility support module, and you can see here boot device, everything here is set to UEFI. You have legacy as well, but this will only work with UEFI. And your drives also need to be formatted in GPT, and they will be automatically formatted in that sort of file format, kind of, not file format, but you know, if you use UEFI. So this trick only works if you have UEFI, doesn't work with legacy. So remember to go into boot and then CSM and select everything UEFI in every single tab here. And then you go to advanced tab and then go down to PCH storage configuration. And right now I'm actually using the Intel Rapid Storage technology because I'm running these 2 drives here, SSDs in RAID 0, and these are old SSDs. And yeah, I'm just using this for a little bit of storage and stuff. You can see they are enabled, 2 first ports. Then the third port are disabled, and that's where I'm going to install Ubuntu Linux. And the 4th drive here is enabled, and also enabled a hot plug on that one, because this is where I connect my backup drive, and I want to be able to turn it off and on while the computer is running. And what I did here, you see it says eSATA, and then I have a special adapter cable. It's a regular SATA port in one end and an eSATA port in the other. So I connect the SATA port to the motherboard, and then I just connect the other end to the back of the case. And it have this eSATA port there. So if I want to install Ubuntu right now, I'm actually going to disable these storage drives, because I don't want Linux to mess with them at all. I don't want Linux to touch them at all. Then I go down to the 3rd port. You see it's over here. I want to install Ubuntu on this one, so I actually enable it. And here's the thing, I have the NVMe drive as well. I can't disable that in UEFI, so I actually have to remove it physically from the motherboard. So you need to turn off your computer and turn off the NVMe drive. But if you only have SSDs, you know, SATA SSDs, you can just disable them in the UEFI like this. And then you go to the exit and save changes. And like this, and just press enter. I'm not going to install Linux again because I already did that. So I'll just go into the BIOS again. But when you are done with installing Ubuntu, you can go back into the UEFI again and go to the advanced PCH storage. Now you can actually enable the other drives in your system like that. And you can keep the Linux enabled like this. Save changes and reset. And when your computer now is booting, just press F8. Keep spamming that F8 key. And you should now be getting a boot menu like this. Because if you don't press F8, it will automatically start the first boot option automatically. But if you want to switch OS, you need to press F8. So here you can see the first one is now Windows Boot Manager, so that's Windows, and the second one is Ubuntu. So now I just use the arrow keys and select. And if I want to start, for example, Windows now, I just have it selected like this. Press enter. And now Windows will boot. If I want to start Ubuntu, I just restart the computer, press F8. In the boot menu, I select Ubuntu. So that's how easy it is. And if I don't want to use Linux anymore, I just format that drive, that SSD. And Windows will continue working as nothing happened. So yeah, that's how I dual boot Windows and Linux. So yeah, see you later.